Hello, 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 everybody. Thank you for coming and welcome to Garden Quilt and Art Show. Let's see if I can pull you up. My camera says it heard a sound. Yes, it's us. It is us. So, wow. Thank you for the thumbs up, everybody. And thank you, all of you who are here live. My Maria Graham, thank you for coming. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My Renaissance Grandma, thank you, thank you. Mike's Chaotic Gardening, thank you, sir. And Joanne Stevens, thank all of you. Early Birds, Unbiased LLC, hey Queen. Rudy Irahita, thank you. So, what's interesting is that I'm seeing such different things on my phone and different things on my computer screen, but all is well. Unbiased, you broke your foot off yesterday in your tutorial on Canva. For those of you who have not seen it, please go by Unbiased LLC, the channel, and look at how she does Canva. I'm sure everybody has a different way. My way is like hide and go seek. I get it done, but she ain't purty. She ain't purty when I do it. So I get it done. Uh-oh. Mike says I have two lives going. So this is an issue. I might need some help, Unbiased. I don't know what happened. I thought I canceled one. Awkward. Okay, so I'm not sure what to do. Hum. One thing, let me hold on, you guys. Thank you. I don't know how this happened. I regrouped. Just a minute. I'm trying to say, okay, I know that Unbiased is going to call me and help me. And let me take off my do not disturb sign. My granddaughter always calls and helps me. So, just a minute, you guys. And thank you for your patience. So, I will call her and see if I can get this party fixed. Thank you. Hi. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. So, mm, okay. So, I'm not able to put the one I'm in on mute. Okay, this one says leave site. So, am I leaving? Okay. I keep saying changes. I'm not able to open another window. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay. Yes. But it keeps saying leave site. Okay. So, go to I see the one that I'm supposed to be on. Okay. I the one on YouTube says 4. The one on the phone there were a lot more. Wait. I don't know how to do all that. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. 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 I don't see that. I see where it says create. Oh, in the middle. Okay. 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 I see live. No, I just see the one with me holding my camera. I mean, my phone. Yes. Well, let me click on that. I don't know. Okay, so okay. Okay, so I don't know if anybody can hear me. Let me. Oh, okay. Mike. Mike's told people to go to this one. Thank you, Mike. You're going to have to get something so special. All of y'all. Thank you very much. Love you. All right. Okay, you guys. Let's try this party again. So, Maria Graham hears me. Joanne Stephen hears me. It says starting, but didn't turn the other one on. If you can hear me loud and clear, everyone, I know Maria Graham does. Thank you, Mimi, Maria. They're here. Woo! I appreciate y'all. What is life without a few adversities, right? A church that Auntie Joanne and I used to go to in LA, the pastor used to say, "Nothing grows in the desert. You know, without rain, without something going wrong, without things to make you grow, help you grow, you don't succeed in life. Life is boring." But we are never bored, are we? Thank you, everyone. So, how many of you are finished gardening or starting gardening? How many of you are out in the garden? Put a 1 if you're in any process in the garden. And everybody, let's give Unbiased a hand. She called and helped her old auntie out. Oh, speaking of which, let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb, because if it rings, it will knock me off. Never a dull moment, right? Focus, do not disturb. Okay. So I had never boring, never that. Unbiased says, welcome in, everyone. So I have had an interesting week. I was so stressed out earlier in the week. I went somewhere in a vehicle that I'm able to use, that I use sometimes, and the check engine light came on, and I was like, Oh no, not during the holidays, not this, not that. I have someone to drive. I have other transportation, including handicap transportation. So there's Mr. Hershey. So Mr. Hershey's trained to bark from when I was legally blind and couldn't hear the door. I mean, couldn't see the door, or I would be in my room. He would let me know someone was there. You heard me say Auntie Joanne. He wants to say hello. His hair is a mess like mine. So Mike saying, "Hey, hey, Black Guns and Garden. Thank you for coming." Robin M. Just a moment. Oy vey. So I guess it's going to be one of those days, one of those weeks, one of those lives. Black Guns and Garden, thank you for coming and welcome. And thank for all your tutorials on safety in your home, safety wherever you go, and staying woke wherever you go. So those of you who are in here, I would like to thank those of you who are here on replay. Let me get back to my manners and where I didn't start. 10, the educated natural. Thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome each and every one of you. The moderators, you lifesavers. Unbiased LLC just called me to walk me through what could have, might have, would have, should have happened. I had a live programmed and then I changed it. And I was wondering why it wasn't saying the right thing. Juanita Campbell, thank you and welcome. So we are where we are, right? Because this is the place we are supposed to be. So let's get back to the program. So what time is it? What time is it? I know that's not. Oh, we've been in for 12 minutes. So I got some mail this week. I started getting a Christmas gift. One of the gifts I got were some seeds. And this year I didn't get many seeds planted. I had a complete knee replacement earlier in the year. So I didn't get out there. Campbell's Creation. Ellen Campbell, thank you. Learning to quilt and sew. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I enjoy your channel. And for those of you, Ellen Campbell does a lot of quilting on her channel. I am involved in four challenges. Four challenges. Oh, and thank you for those of you in the bushes. I know this is a work time of day, and some of you have to do what you got to do to take care of your family and to look out for dear old Auntie Ellen as well. So let's go to the four challenges that I'm doing this year. And one of them is a cash challenge, and where we are saving $5 a week minimum in cash, and to make sure that we have cash on hand. So for this week, I am putting in my $5. My $5. Actually, I'll leave it outside the envelope so that I can remember to write it down and to make sure that I have cash in hand. I've got next week's $5 too. So, what will I do? Actually, I'll write it down right now. $5. Today is Dose 12 5 2024. So this is the fifth day of the month, and a lot of you are doing Vlogmas, and I'm not doing Vlogmas, but I'm doing a basically a daily challenge. And one of the challenges I'm doing, I will be doing Mike's Chaotic Gardening, WIG 2024, but the as long as you start from seed and start after December 1st, today is December 5th. I haven't actually started. I don't have anything in the soil. I don't have anything in the water. I am, however, sorting my seeds and putting things together. So these are some of the seeds that I collected for the final cut. Of course, let me just say this: the first year of WIG 2022, famous, rooted in essential oils. Thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. Thought about you today when I was putting one of my essential oils on after I brushed my teeth and combed my hair and ran around the bathroom 3 times to come in here. And one of the things I was doing was preparing my seeds and sharing my seeds. I did a little quick video because some seeds I had a lot of, some seeds I needed to share. And so this is the bag that I'm going to share. I was putting them in individual bags, and this is the bag I was keeping for myself. Of course, I have a lot more seeds of my own. I have some in the freezer for stratification to make sure they get some freeze time. So I will be giving out a lot of borage. I have borage to share, Jamaican sorrel. I have butternut squash. David Corey, what's up? What's up, dude? Thank you for coming. And welcome, 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 David. David, all that garlic you are planting, I wish I could be a flyer in the wall. I would tear your garden up next year. I have lemon balm to share, more Jamaican sorrel. In fact, I was putting like X amount of seeds in. I bought some seeds a while ago. PIA, welcome. Hope you're feeling better. I know you haven't been well and feeling well. Prayers to each of you who have not been feeling well. We're at the cough and cold and flu season, so I know it's hard for everyone. But I do want to tell you this: the gifts that I'm giving out for Chris Mahana Kwanzaa, I will not be putting in the mail before Christmas because the prices are very high. Oh, somebody's acting up today. Somebody is acting up. No, Hershey, come. So if he's not being trying to be a lap dog, he's trying to harass people in the hallway. But he only barks when people are out there. So a lot of you are. Tracy said she's starting to feel better. Thank you. I'm glad. I'm glad. Nobody wants to be sick over the holidays. One of my neighbors that I'm very close to was so sick like 2 weeks ago. We were actually supposed to go out for my birthday, but she was really sick. She was going to go, but I said, no, thank you. No, thank you. So, of course, I have my Baker's Creek catalog. I've got my garlic planted. It is about 21 degrees here in Connecticut. You guys put in the chat where you're watching from, what state or what grow zone. Everybody's glad you're feeling glad, PIA. Mother, if you're here in the chat, the $5 a week challenge unbiased is supposed to last for 1 year. So it started December 1st, so 2024. So I imagine it will go until December 1st, 2025. As far as the WIG grow off, Maria Graham's watching from South Carolina 8B, Unbiased 8B, PIA 6A, Mike Zone 4, Joanne Stevens, Arizona 9B. Why? Because actually, you guys, I'm usually in Arizona this time of year. I usually go, awkward quilter. Nothing grows at your house. Operator gardening error. Well, guess what? I have stuff in my garden, awkward gardener. Awkward quilter, awkward gardener. Is that a Freudian slip or whatever? But she's not an awkward quilter. She's a very good quilter. And she goes live on Sundays at 7 in the morning. Of course, Sunday is my day off from YouTube, resting my eyes, or rather, I should say my eye, because I only have vision in one eye. So I take a break from all the lights, all the drama, all the everything. Juanita Campbell, North Carolina 8A. Well, that's interesting because when I was in North Carolina and I wasn't too far from you, it was 7B. Although I used to roll through your town and it was like a 35, 40 minute ride south of me. So 8B, I mean 8A. Okay. My Renaissance grandma, welcome in, sis. Thank you. And she says 6B. So me, I don't want to get burned out. Anything you do, you try to overdo it. You have to set your own limits. Wellness with Frugal Mama. Thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. I always say, you guys, do what you love and love what you do. Here on this channel, good friends become family, and family is everything. So know your limits. I've been in some of the lives. I know that some of you have what a seasonal distress order or something when the daylight saving time and the days are shorter. You have depression. Some don't have family. Do what you can handle and reach out to others. Reach out to others. You know, don't wait for somebody to call you if you don't feel well. Robin Murphy says, South Carolina 7A, 7B. Reach out to others. They might be feeling the same way that you do. And for whatever reason, their pride, their whatever, they don't want to tell anybody. They're trying to be strong. Don't be strong. Reach out to other people. They might be feeling the same way. And if nothing else, it's fun to hear somebody say, "Hello, how you doing?" or just hear your voice on the voicemail. So, those of you who are content creators, put an exclamation mark GQUAT in the chat and drop your channel so that others can find you. Others can find you. Black Guns and Gardens. I saw something today on a channel. I like not. I'm very 2A. I do like knives and pew pews. I like hand forged knives. I like handmade knives. I like sharp knives. And you know what? When you're in the country, you're on the farm. You can't live without possibly a pew pew, but always you need a life. You can't open the feed sacks. You cannot open a bale of hay. I used to walk around. My brother used to say, Sissy, who unloads those 50-pound bags of feed? Because of the beginning of the month, I would go and get like 200 pounds of feed. I would buy at least 10 50-pound bags of high protein dog food, chicken feed for the different ages of the chickens I had, duck feed, what else is all goat feed, and I make bags out of the recycled feed bags. Well, my brother would say, "Who carries them?" I did. The feed sack, Tractor Supply, whoever would load them on the back of the truck. She stole my thunder. Thank you for coming and welcome. And thank you for watching in the background. I get it. I know what time of day it is. And I love you guys and I appreciate each and every one of you. So I used to go and back up I had a 1-bedroom mobile home for the dogs, I had show dogs, Cane Corso Italian Mastiffs, and I had like a handicap ramp. So I didn't have to go up the 3, 4, 5 steps. I would walk up the ramp, but I would carry these 50-pound bags of feed at 66 years of age. I just had a birthday, so I'm 76 now. I don't even try to pick up the big bags of feed. Went to went to Costco yesterday, a big haul, and the 40 bottle packs of water. So each one is 16 ounces, half of a pound. So it's 20 pounds. I am not trying to walk on my bad knees, my whatever. So I just waited for somebody to load the 40 bottle things of water on the cart. Woo. I only crashed 3 times in there. That that cart in Costco is pretty big and it's long, and people are all up on you. You're trying to turn, but nobody got hurt. No one was injured in the making of this story. Hershey, now come. So I made a big haul yesterday. Why? Because I'm filling my pantry. No other reason. No other reason. So, talking about the gardening, I don't want to burn myself out. So, I will be in with both feet in the challenge. I'm going to wait until after the first of the year because that leads me to my other two challenges, and those are sewing challenges. I have one where I'm doing a legacy strip quilt where I'm taking old scraps of fabric from all these old quilts, tiny pieces, and putting them together. And that one, I'm doing 2 blocks a week on that one. Sometimes I get behind and have to make it up. But by the end of the year, that one should be finished. And there's another challenge where I always tell you guys to do something you love every day. That would help with your seasonal light disorders. It's therapeutic for any type of depression, and that is any type of an art or craft. I am involved in a 15-minute a day minimum sewing challenge. Of course, I get more than that. Darthak said that club pack water is heavy. You had to stock the shelf a few times. Grocery store worker. I say, let the young people do the heavy lifting. That's right. That's right. So going back to WIG, just wanted to rub it in one more time that the very first year of WIG 2022. Thank you, Rudy Irahita. I won the grow off and I bought myself a crown, a crown, a crown, a crown, a crown. This one is too heavy. Auntie Joanne said Angel heard me call for Mr. Hershey, and now she's looking for them. For those of you who don't know, Joanne Stevens is my biological sister, and Mr. Hershey and I go out there for like a month anniversary, a month at a time. Karen's Little Garden, thanks for and welcome in. And Mr. Hershey knows his daughter, and his daughter knows him and me and Auntie Ellen. Thirsty. So that's what I've been doing. I'm almost at the end of my quilt challenge with the legacy quilt. So I have finished block 24 out of 30, and I've decided that I'm not doing any more quilts with these tiny pieces of fabric, and I've been gifting small pieces to people, but I always have little bits and pieces that I have put aside because I always have something planned, something to do, and I do quilts in 5 or 6 stages. I never get bored. There is the planning stage where you're collecting the fabric, putting it together. To that regard, some of the fabric that I took out of the box with the legacy quilt wasn't small pieces. These were actually 4-inch pieces of fabric, and they kind of mixed and matched. So I put them aside. I said, well, this will be a project if it's only a table runner. This this piece over here is a table runner. I was going to make it for Christmas. Then I looked at the fabrics and I said, those aren't Chris Mahana Kwanzaa fabrics. So I will save that one for maybe Easter. And I took out some fabric with green in it since so many of you are gardeners, and I will do something with these and make a couple. This fabric is actually what they call a tea dyed muslin. It's muslin. I like the way muslin crinkles up. This was a green. That's a green. This was a plain green. And this was a green with buttons. So, some kind of way, I will make something for giveaway, and I will make it out of these fabrics. So another thing I had in those fabrics, I hope I said hello to everyone. If I didn't, charge it to my eyesight, not to my heart, because I try to say hello to everyone. So I had some of the smaller strips left over. They were pretty long. My blocks initially are I cut them the strips and put them on a 6.5-inch square, and I thought these were pretty greens and kind of blue. So instead I will make this into, excuse me sir, excuse me. Oh, he's being so needy. So he heard me saying you all everybody's name. So this will be a giveaway for Christmas. Again, I won't be putting anything in the mail until after the first of the year. The post offices are crazy. The mailing fees are crazy. And I'm going to wait until the first of the year. The last one I'm going to make, and this will definitely be a giveaway. This is some of that red, ugly fabric that I bought 160 yards of a few years ago. I gave so much of it away. I made so much into Uncle Roscoe got an all red quilt out of the centerpiece. And then, of course, my ugly fabric with the red and yellow frogs on it and a green background. So the mailing fees are outrageous, y'all. I'm on a fixed income, and I have to live. I have to do. I have a family. I have great grandchildren, a new great grandbaby on the way, and I have to make it through Christmas. So I figured that somebody will love each of these. These will be a flip and turn kind of either a table runner, a wall hanging. Those frogs are adorable. Well, stay tuned, awkward quilter, because I will be gifting that, and we'll do a giveaway. So I'll figure it out. For Christmas is actually on a Wednesday. So I will not be going live on the Oh no, just ignore what I'm saying. I will go live the day after. That has nothing to do with it. I bring it, Kelly. Thank you for what, Hershey. If you do not stop it, you're going to get punished to your room. Knock it off, please, sir. So he's being so fresh. So going back to my 15-minute a day challenge, I'm putting all these little blocks together, and I'm not going to start another one. Everyone's speaking to Kelly. I bring it every day, an awkward quilter. Thank you. Thank you. So, there are different stages, as I was saying, of making a quilt. One is selecting the fabrics. So, it's not going to be a quilt, but you saw the fabrics I had in the bag. Those will be a table runner or something. I'm going to give away whatever small pieces of fabrics that I have left. Because why? Awkward Quilter, you're going to laugh when you see this. Some of you have been following me for a while know that those four black hampers up there, all four of them are filled to the top with 60 finished quilt tops, already finished. Already finished the top. And the larger ones, I'm going to send to a long arm quilter with the batting, the backing, the shipping, everything, and get those finished. So they're searching for the fabric. There's ironing it. You always have to iron. I hate, hate, hate to iron. I hate to iron. My quilts are ironed. My clothes, maybe not, mother. Maybe not. I'm not great for ironing. Then you have to sew the quilt top. So I'm in the process of doing the patchwork on that one strip quilt. And I took some of the pieces that were left. These are iron. I'm going to not wrinkle them because they won't be getting sewed again. You're supposed to be lurking every once in a while. You have to look up and smile. Thank you. 755 Media. Welcome in. Welcome in, niece. Appreciate you. 755 Media is doing a sew along. I think it's Saturday. It's Saturday. You guys, don't forget to drop your link, exclamation mark seven, I mean, exclamation mark GQUAT. And you can email her to get the what you're going to be painting. I do have it. I won't be able to participate on Saturday, but I will. It's I won't say what it is. I will let her tell you or you reach out to. It's very very cute. So it's something that I do want to paint. So going back to the stages of quilting, the finding the fabric, the ironing it, the cutting it out, the piecing it together, but no job is done until the label is on it. Last Saturday, I was supposed to be putting the binding and a label on a quilt, and I couldn't find my favorite hand sewing needle. My so it's a paint along. Yes, that's what it is. But I won't be able to paint along with you, but I will follow I will do the replay and follow along with that. So I won't be able to participate it live, but I will be doing it. It's very cute. So the one of the final parts of ending a quilt that the ones all above me didn't get done. You a quilt is actually a fabric sandwich. There's a top piece, there's batting in the middle, and then there's backing on the bottom. So I have several pieces in the works in the making, and I'm going to show you the label for it because a label is the actual birth certificate for a quilt. And without a birth certificate, you have to, nobody knows anything about the quilt. A quilt is a piece of living history. I hear a lot of you say that you have grandma's quilt, you have this, that. But without your word of mouth, nobody knows anything about the the quilt. So the four things that should be on every quilt, and this is an old label tutorial I made years ago when I was in North Carolina. Number one, if you have a quilt name, you put who the quilt that I'm making now. I will show you what the name is. The it's actually a wall hanging quilt by Ellen Pankey. For mine, I put the size on it. Why? Because if I'm putting my quilt in an exhibition or something, I need to know what size it is. Also, if I'm sending it to a long armor, I need to know what I'm paying for. And then I put the city and state that the quilt was finished in. As you see, this one says Warrenton, North Carolina. I'm not in Warrenton, North Carolina. So this is not a quilt label. This is actually actually a piece of embroidery, unbiased, for my long arm group. I was first vice president of the Carolina Long Arm Association for many years, and I embroidered my name on it. Tampa's Creek, Homestead, and more. Thank you for coming and welcome. I did see either on a replay, the bushes or something, you painting with a group. It was past my bedtime, so I was watching it without my glasses, and I enjoyed watching you guys paint. I love to paint. Haven't been painting much lately. For those of you who are new, in the corner, that jean jacket over there, not the pyrography of my dad. The pyrography is actually a wood burning made by another artist, Jabril Ndouye. So I paint, I draw, but I only have two hands, and there are only so many hours in a day. So this is, I'm going to be very careful. This is what I've been working on lately. It's a Christmahan Kwanzaa wall hanging, and I actually did the machine quilting live here on on the channel a couple of weeks ago. And after I left you guys, I put the binding on. I like I like my corners mitered, and I put the binding on from the front. I hand sew it. Let me take my favorite needle out before I lose it, because I'm going to do something with you guys. And I usually use titanium gray or off white, being cute, trying to show you guys something. Thank you, Maria Graham. She says, nice, it's cute. So this one, I already have the binding on. So my method for doing this particular quilt, I put the binding on from the front, and I hand sewed it from the back. You can't see it very well. I tried to make invisible stitches or small stitches, but sewing in the dark and whatnot, it's not, they're not always invisible. And you can see the black on the back, the machine binding. What I thought was cute, let me push this down. What I thought, you love the wall hanging. Thank you, Awkward Quilter. I'm going to put this down on my lap so I don't have to hold my arms up. This little this little guy over here, to me, looks like an angel. So that's what I named this piece. So here is the label I made. The name of this piece is called Angels Watching Over Me. And that's the name of the quilt. This is a label. I think I will put one more little strip of fabric around the outside of it, by Ellen Pankey. It's 22 inches wide, 24 inches long. Finished the 5th of December 2024 here in Connecticut. So I will put this in the on the back of it. And so when most quilters put the label on, it goes in on the bottom corner, and I will hand sew this in. And by the way, when you go to quilt shows, I know that you can't see my face. You're not allowed to touch the quilt with your bare hands. The acid in your hands, the funnel cakes you're eating, whatever you're eating, walking around, you don't touch the quilts. There are people who are there. There is security, and the quilt shows, and the people who touch the quilt, if you actually want to see the label, have on white gloves. So this will be sewn on the back of it. And the quilt challenge, 15 minutes a day, she's actually working on putting a binding on for her 15 minutes on a quilt that she has in progress. So a lot of times you can buy labels like this pre-made, the outside that are pre-printed at quilt shows, different quilt organizations, and they come on a big sheet, and you cut them out individually. However, in order to write on them, you iron on a piece of freezer paper. I guess this is a marker on the back. You iron on the freezer paper so that it sticks and the ink doesn't bleed through. Then just before you sew it on the quilt, you see this? Now I'm wondering, this might be, this looks like I have an adhesive bonding on it because I feel the elastic on the back of it. So after I hand sew it, I'll heat set this and this will become a permanent part of the quilt. So, do any of you have any questions about the process so far? You cheat family quilts are sent with a text, picture, and info. You don't label any of your charity quilts. She's a free motion quilter, positive word on the quilt itself. FMQ for you guys means free motion quilter. I've seen her quilting and she does very well. She is on her domestic machine. She goes slowly in her little hands. I commend you for it. I commend you for it. I I'm not able to show it today, but I do have a small video when I had a quilt studio at home in North Carolina. It was 1,500 square feet, and I had a long arm machine, and I used to collect sewing machines. People ask me what is my favorite shit machine. They are my featherweight 221s. So I have a couple of those. I haven't had them out lately because I can only have one or two machines out at a time. I live in a senior handicap apartment and I got to have room to eat somewhere other than on the bed on a tray. So I take one out at a time. What this is over here, you guys, these are pillows that are Christmas gifts, a whole stack of them. This is I guess, a little table pad to go with this quilt for one of my bisnieta. Bisnieta means great granddaughter in Espanol. You're working on a wall hanging for yourself, the continent of Africa and the area, the heritage and the lit from it. I've done one, Campbell's creation. I have a big, not a big, it's a pretty good size African continent quilt, and each country that I put on has a different country in African fabrics, and it's outlined in black. And it was a labor of love. And I have piano keys going around the outside. What are piano keys, you guys? They are pieces of fabric. They don't have to be uniform. The piano keys I have on this one are different sizes in width and 6.5 inches long. Why? Because I like to be different. I like to be different. And I usually do a quilt with Quilt Africa fabrics over the Christmas holidays. And I will be doing a challenge after the first of the year. So I'm putting this down on my lap because after I pick up my needle, I want to show you what I do for my wall hangings. So this one, I made a hanging sleeve to match the backing. See this? And I actually sewed it on at the same time I was sewing the binding. But I've already hand sewn the binding on from the front, hand sewed it to the, I sewed it from the front by machine, I'm trying to say, hand sewed it on the back, mitered the corners, front and back. So now all I have to do is hand stitch this binding down. You've seen it after my, okay. Oh, you saw mine after your ancestors' DNA? Oh, My quilt top for the African fabrics is actually on the Quilt Africa Fabrics site. They have it posted and they sent it out on a couple things. So I'm going to try to see what you guys are saying. No, 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 Hershey. African fabric is expensive. It is crazy expensive. But it's a totally different quality. It's a totally different quality. So here is my needle. I like, let me hold this up. This one, I can see it, I can feel it. I don't have my favorite thimble over here. I have a, oh, yes, I do. So your thimble goes on your middle finger. Dun, 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 dun. I'm not making fresh little signs. And where this is hanging down, I'm going to hand sew it down. Beautiful color saturation. Yes, aqua quilter, the African fabric, the color density is so thick that you cannot tell the front from the back. I usually have a pile of fabrics sitting. Oh, I actually do. No, I'm not going to go through the whole thing of it, but this is for my next project. My next project, I've already picked out the fabrics. Picked out the fabrics. This is from the Etosha Wildlife Preserve, and it depends on where you get them. Where you get them. These are not the ones I wanted to show you, but I will show you when I get started. I will show you when I actually get started. But I don't want to get sidetracked. So I start touching fabric, I can go and go and go. So, oh, you have seen my quilt? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ellen Campbell. So, what I'm going to do is sew the edge of this sleeve down by hand and just a little whip stitch. I'm going to sew the inside. I'm actually going to, I have arthritis in my hands, so my fingers don't work like they're supposed to. But I'm happy to be alive. I'm not complaining, Lord. I'm 76 years old and I'm still able to do the things I love. So I am pulling this through, and don't tell me this thread broke. So I'm going to go back to stage one. Actually, I will just talk to you because I can't see this blue thread in the dark. So I'm going to put a pause on this, put a pause on this, and talk to you guys about quilts. And this will be finished on Saturday. But my bright idea to do this invisible sewing isn't working. For all your gardeners, when is the best time to plant fruit trees in the south? Don't ask me what zone, your weather's crazy. Okay, so we will have a free for all question and answer period. For fruit trees, when I lived in the south, I planted my fruit trees the spring because I didn't have to worry about chill. Older trees can take some cold. Younger trees, not so much. It also depends, awkward quilter, on the type of tree that you're planting. Some trees actually need chill hours, like cherry trees, like apple trees. Others, others like lemon trees, citrus trees, they don't take the cold. They don't take the cold, and you have to protect them. I live in Connecticut, and one of my neighbors in my community garden has citrus trees, and he takes them all up. They're in containers, and he takes them all up in the fall, takes them to a heated greenhouse, and then brings them back in the springtime. In the springtime, I have been gardening and sewing, I want to say, for like over 70 years. We always had peach and plums. I would keep them protected, awkward quilter, until spring. I wouldn't put them out there. And it also depends on whether you have them in a container or whether you intend to put them in the ground. So, yeah, that makes a difference. I had a homestead in North Carolina, the one that I was telling you guys about. For 40 years, we owned that property. The everyday life of an OCD is chick. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Money, for the super chat. Good afternoon, Auntie Ellen and Chat. Thank you for coming and welcome, 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 Nikki, Nikki, Nikki. I also owned a house for about 20 years in the DMV area, not even 5 miles from where Nikki lives now. So I've been around so many places in my life and times. Yeah, yeah. So for those of you who wanted to know, I grew up in Connecticut. So the first, I want to say 19, 20 years of my life, uh, I lived in Connecticut. Then I went to Howard University in Washington D.C. I was married. I had a young family. Stayed there for about 20 years. While we were there, we bought the property in North Carolina, and we would go back and forth. After that, I went uh, to California, spent about 20 years there, then came back to Connecticut, still had the property in North Carolina, and then 10 years ago, back again for good. Tired of putting stuff around and finding all my stuff. Some of it I have. It's like, why didn't she take that out? Because I had it, but I didn't know exactly where I put it. Everything is on shelves, in totes, in boxes. Why? Because I actually live in my studio. My studio is my life. So I live, eat, and work here in my apartamento, and that's what I do. So, awkward quilter said she will be planting in the ground. You have to go. All right. Well, we'll see you in the bushes on Sunday before church. I turn you on and I just peek and watch. Or maybe someone might be watching while they're in church on another channel. So I enjoy you guys as well. So, do any of you have any questions about? They're saying, "Take care, awkward quilter. Ego amote. Love you." And do any of you have any questions about gardening, about quilting, about anything, about doing some art? So, again, I'd like to encourage each of you to do something for 15 minutes. I promise you, if you're feeling sad, if you're bored, whatever, once you get started, you will get so into it, you will forget all about it. I go to PTSD counseling every Tuesday, 11 o'clock. And one of the things she says is that you can't, your mind can't, matter can't be in the same place at two times. So if you take something out of your brain and put it into your hands, you're not worrying about it anymore. So sometimes I will get up, and not that I'm particularly stressed out, but if something is getting on my nerves, I will come in here and sit at the sewing machine and do something that takes a lot of concentration or effort, like that little strip quilt, putting them all together, trying to keep the pieces off the floor, the pins off the floor, putting it together. And It just takes away my time. I'll go to spend 15 minutes, and before I know it, and I've spent an hour doing it. Spent an hour doing it. Hershey, knock it off. Come. Cheers, you guys. I watched Hands in the Dirt last night with Nikki and all of them. And when I woke up from my nap, and you guys are so funny. They were having toast. I was having a toast of water. My allergies are acting up. So let's see, today's Thursday. Later on, Miss Shirley OG Gardner is going live. Odom goes on, I think, at 9 o'clock. I believe Vision Preparedness. Karen, to make a puff quilt or weighted quilt, what size blocks would you use? Now, a puff quilt is different than a weighted quilt, Karen, and I would use a good size would be 8.5 inches, Karen. An 8.5 inch block is big enough so that if you're making a puff quilt, you can stuff it. Leave one side open and stuff it when you get them lined up. And a weighted quilt, you can make several ways. A weighted quilt is who on a cruise, Mike? Mm, I don't know who's on a cruise. Wish it was me. No, I don't. I don't feel like going on any cruises. If I were going to go anywhere, it would be to Arizona and get on my sister's nerves and run around and gorilla garden in her backyard. So, Mike says Miss Shirley might or might not be on tonight. So I guess you guys will be on your own tonight. Do any of you have any questions about anything that I'm working on? Any of my challenges? That's how I'm not getting bored. And I had an incident earlier this week when I could have been uptight. I spent the day sewing, and that was my therapy, and I got through it like a big girl, or not a big girl. But I know that my sister Joanne is always available to talk to, and she's always supportive. And she knew that this day was going to be a stressful day, and she called to see if I was okay. So that's another thing, you guys. Reach out to those of you who you think might be struggling, or anybody in our community, because we care. There's nothing more hurtful than to turn on your computer and find out that one of us is no longer here. We've lost several members of our gardening community, our close garden community, over the last couple years. And it was hurtful to find out that all of a sudden you didn't hear from them. Then you found out they were gone. Maria Graham's asking how Joanna's feeling. And after you get a certain age, y'all, every day is not the best day in the world. So you just kind of keep kicking the can forward. I want to say after age 60, like you're not done with, but things, it's like a car engine. You have to do some work on it. I had a doctor's appointment yesterday, early in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, when I took Hershey out. Then after that, we made the Costco haul. I was riding the cart and reaching around, getting things and pulling things. My aide had the big cart pushing it. When we got back home, I looked at her. She came in my bedroom. We sat down. We were watching a YouTube video, and I said, "Have a seat." And I said, "Are you tired?" She shook her head, yes. So I was up all night putting all that stuff away in my prepper pantry, putting some of it to go other places. Yeah. So, does anybody have any more questions? I will end it for tonight and let you go Mike, she said I don't know who you go. Oh, Miss Shirley might or might be on tonight on a cruise, depending on the Wi Fi. Oh, okay. Okay, so that's nice. That's nice. Things always accidentally fall in my cart. I've been being good. I've been being good. Joanne Stevens says today is a good day. So, you guys, now it's time to say goodbye to all our lovely friends. Ego amote, mother, in American Sign Language. This is an I. Thanks for bearing with me when I couldn't get on I had two lives started today. This is an L. This is a U. This is how to say I love you. And thanks for coming, you guys.